Hi everybody, my name is Debbie Cave. I'm based in London. I've been involved in Isagenix since it launched in the UK in May 2017. I'd like to introduce Andy Nichol and Sam Anderton. We've all just come back from a phenomenal trip in Tenerife, compliments of Isagenix, where we were all rewarded for our work efforts over the last few months. I talked to them both when I was there at the prospect of sitting down and picking their brains and expertise to overcome a lot of objections that I get when talking to people, and I know we all do. And I thought it'd be very useful for my team and for the wider teams to perhaps learn from Sam and Andy. So we have decided to do this little Q&A in the hope that it will sort of help other people along the way. So to try and not make it too long, I'm going to start off by asking Andy the first question. Is this a shake thing? Why is Isagenix different?
Thanks, Debbie. It's really good to be on this call with you and Sam. And yeah, that's a big question, right? Because we our main product is a shake. And it's a shake. So a lot of people ask that question because they've had preconceived ideas of what a shake thing is. And I like to ask the question back. So like, hey, what do you mean? And sometimes it's not a negative. Sometimes they just want clarification that they're replacing a meal with a shake. So that's not a problem. I say, yeah, absolutely. So we replace 1 to 2 meals a day, depending on what your goals are, with a nutritious shake. But this is not your ordinary shake. This is nutrient dense. It's 275 calories. It's the equivalent of 3 to 5 plates of organic food in terms of the nutrients, like 24 grams of protein, rich in fiber. This is a superfood shake. So yes, but absolutely not.
Sam, have you got anything to add to that?
I would add one thing to that. Nailed it though, Andy. That's exactly as it is. And the thing I would add to it is that convenience is what comes with a shake thing. And that is what everybody out there who lives a busy lifestyle is looking for. You know, most people I speak to about Isagenix, one of the first questions I'll ask them is, do you have breakfast every morning? And I would say more than 80% of people I speak to would say no. And so they're starting their day wrong because they don't have time. And so the shake thing aspect is awesome because what shakes do is they save you so much time in the morning, and you can get all of the nutrients that Andy just said about the shake into your body at the start of your day. So a shake thing is an awesome thing, is what I would say. Get amongst it.
Yeah, very, very good answer. And I have to say, my experience when I first started out, the vast majority of my clients were weight loss clients. But now I've got an equal amount of people that actually don't necessarily need to lose weight, but they're doing it purely for the nutritional side of things and the benefits, because they've got busy lives and they can just fit in even the 1 shake a day, and it just makes so many differences to their overall health. So yes, that's a great answer. The next question I've got, which I also get a lot, is, look, I'm a real foodie. I want to eat real food. Do we eat enough real food in this plan?
Let's let Sam go first on that, because I know that we both love our food, but Sam probably more so.
Absolutely. I love this question, probably more than anything, because I would always answer it with, so am I. I absolutely love food. It's one of my favorite things in literally the world. More than most things, I love my food. And so a shake thing, or is Isagenix like a non-food eating diet? The answer is no. You are encouraged to eat a nutrient-dense whole food diet alongside the shakes. And when you're at different phases in the journey, that can change. So most people think, oh, it's just a weight loss diet, so I'm going to be cutting calories for the whole time I use Isagenix. But that's just one phase of the journey. Once you've got to your goal, the next phase might be that you want to build some muscle. So then you get to eat a full whole food diet in a calorie surplus, and the shakes just help you get your calories and your nutrients in. So they're just as good to be convenient and help you with weight loss goals as they are to help you build muscle. And that's what I absolutely love about them, is they're so diverse. You can use them in both scenarios with equal efficacy.
Yeah, let me just add to what Sam said. I'm personally as well a big foodie. I love my food. I love good food. You know, I really do. And everything Sam said is true. We also get a lot of people who don't eat so great, you know, and they just, because they're reaching for convenient foods, their diet's not brilliant. And what tends to happen on a flip side is once they start putting good nutrition in their body, it wakes up their senses, and they actually start to become a better eater. They start looking for foods that are going to light up their system rather than just be convenient. So we've turned hundreds of people into foodies by using Isagenix as that springboard for good nutrition. So yeah, foodies are welcome in this, and you're going to love the plan.
I'm just going to add to that. One of my downline actually said she's a massive foodie. And she said that actually, given that she's now sort of reevaluating what she puts into her mouth, she enjoys food much more because she actually tastes the flavors. You know, our taste buds do change throughout this journey, I find, and you don't crave the sweet things so much. So she says that she actually gets a lot more out of the food she eats because she enjoys it so much more. So yeah, certainly we are all foodies, and judging by the amount you guys were eating in Tenerife, actually cue the flexing of the muscles now, Sam. I thought actually, just to add, it's great having you guys on the call, because between the three of us, we sort of cover off the whole 20-somethings objections. Andy's on the 30-40s, and I'm on the wrong side of the 40s, but I think between the three of us, we've pretty well got it covered. Now, the next question, again, I think I probably get more from my age group because of the sort of kickback to the horrible pyramid schemes of the 80s. But the people that go, oh, it sounds like a pyramid thing. How do you overcome that one, Andy? I know that you like that question.
Yeah, I actually do love that question because, like you said, it's definitely an era thing from the 80s when some unscrupulous firms would take a product and they'd sell it to a network, and the price would increase every time that the next person got involved, until someone was left with a product that nobody could afford and was often a really terrible product as well. Those schemes were few and far between, and they were shut down very quickly, and they really don't exist anymore. And I always like to say, as an objection, I always flip it back. I like the shake thing. Oh yeah, okay, so what do you mean? Like, what do you mean by pyramid scheme? And I just kind of play a little bit dumb, like, I'm not sure what you mean. And often they don't have a clue what they mean. Or they say, oh, it's like this. And you're like, no, it's not at all. And then we can go back and rely on what Isagenix actually is, 17 years old. It's won numerous business awards in America and throughout the world. One of the biggest companies in the world of its type, doing almost $1 billion in sales. And just has culture and ethics completely ingrained into its products and its business opportunities. So, when people realize that, it's the easiest thing to say, oh, okay, yeah, it's not one of those things. But let's just look for a second, and then I'll pass it on to Sam, of why people say that. It's because they are looking at it and thinking, well, is it a get-rich-quick scheme? Is it a pyramid scheme? And I do sometimes like to say, well, look, depends what you think get rich and what's quick. You could put your effort and energy into this in the next 3 to 5 years. You could be retired and have an income that's continuously there for the rest of your life. Like, if you've got a plan elsewhere to do that, then good on you. But I don't know anywhere else that you can put that energy in and create that lifestyle if you so wish. So I like that question, and it's not necessarily a negative for me.
Actually wouldn't add anything to that. I thought that was a perfect objection handle. I wouldn't want to add another option into the mix, because I think you nailed that one, Andy.
The only thing I would add to that is literally pyramid schemes are completely illegal. And, I say to people who know me well, do you really think I would align myself with a company that was remotely, dodgy in any shape or form? It's just not a concern. Okay, next question, which again is one that we do often get when people are a little bit skeptical at the beginning. It's expensive. How can I justify that kind of cost in 30 days? Do you want to answer that one, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would always just say to them, I believe that expense is a matter of perspective. And would you be open to just like sharing with me a little bit about like what your ideal of expensive is? And maybe even look at how much you actually currently spend on your consumables, and then I'll be able to show you some comparisons. Would you be open to me showing you that? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, yeah, of course. Like I was, they're skeptical, so they're like, I can't wait to prove him wrong. And then what I'll do is I will ask for a breakdown of what they spend. I'll say, so just give me an idea of what you spend on your groceries each week. They'll tell you a figure, and then I'll ask them the same question. Do you have a coffee in the morning or any takeaway coffees throughout the day? Yes, 9 times out of 10. where do you have your lunch? What do you eat for lunch? I usually go out, get a Subway, or I get a noodle box or something convenient like people on the move do. And then by the time, and then I also ask them about alcohol consumption, because we're a huge drinking culture over here. And what a lot of people don't realize is that alcohol is a consumable. You have to consume it. So whether it's in whole food form or liquid form, you're putting it in here, it counts in that spend. And so when you get them present to that, and then you add those figures up, the figure is always alarming to the person. Like, they've never taken the time. I haven't come across a single person that's taken the time to budget out what they spend on their consumables each week. And when you put it in front of them, it's like a big smack in the face wake-up call. And then you can literally compare it to any one of the Isagenix systems, and they're probably going to save money. If not, it's just going to be a reallocation of what they're already spending. And so I kind of try and encompass that whole process in one. And yeah, people are pretty changed in their mindset after that conversation. If you can just show them that's how much you're spending, this is how much this costs. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Objection handled.
Very, very good answer. I always remember one of the podcasts I listened to by one of the top American ladies. I can't remember her name. And she always says, when you do that calculation, you usually work out that they're going to spend a whole lot more taking the weight off than they ever did putting it back on. And that just kind of sums it up. Have you got anything you'd like to add to that, Andy?
Yeah, it's something I completely agree with Sam. I always go through someone's budget. Almost every time that they do that, they realize how much they've spent. And don't forget, this is a convenience food as well. So a lot of times I'll draw comparisons to, like, hey, if you ever had a meal deal and look at what nutrition's in there and how much it costs, honestly, we're comparable in terms of price, and yet you're getting all this amazing nutrition. So that's one. And I also say, look, you deserve this. Like, if you think it's expensive, it's because this is premium. Like, these are amazing premium products, but you deserve this. Like, you deserve to put good things in your body, and you deserve to have these products in your life. And the last thing I always say is that, if you want to use these products forever, you need to join the Eat for Free Club, because everybody I know that uses these products and loves them, who shares them through the compensation plan Isagenix has, rather gets them discounted or free, just because we are the advertising force for Isagenix. So is free too expensive for you?
Yeah, good answer. Okay, now another one touches on another negativity, which I think comes off the internet. People that say, look, I've checked it out, I'm quite interested, but I've seen a bit of negativity about the amount of sugars. Can you tell me how much sugar you have, and is it a lot compared to other shakes? Have you come across that one, Sam?
Yeah, many times. So I've got two stories, but I'll just tell you the one that I've been using for the longest, because the other one has only just come to my attention. So I say to people, do you understand how much sugar is in a piece of fruit, for example? And they might say to me, well, no, I don't actually. And I'll be like, well, let's just say like a nice large apple, there's less sugar in a isoline shake than there is in a large apple. So would you be worried or concerned about eating an apple a day? And they're like, no. And I'd be like, would you be concerned about eating 2 apples a day? No. Okay, well, that's basically the sugar equivalent that you'd be consuming from 2 shakes a day. And then it's usually, that's one thing. And then the other thing is that I use my IsaBody challenge as an example now. And I say, I didn't really have an awareness of how much sugar my body can actually consume safely on a daily basis. And whenever you're eating healthy food alternatives, isoline shakes included, it's actually really hard to hit your daily sugar intake. You'd have to be like binging on a lot of sweet stuff to get that amount of sugar in your diet healthily than you would if you were eating what most people eat in the UK. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, perfect. That example is a really good idea to get people to see, oh, okay, well, sugar's in everything. And what I also say on top of that is that not all sugars are created equal. So there's some sugars in especially our highly processed foods, which are very much a synthetic type of sugar that goes straight into the bloodstream, and it can be quite damaging, or it can spike blood sugar and insulin levels and all that sort of stuff. Whereas this is with whole food. It's not fake sugar. So it's not the same as eating, something that's completely sugar-based like a Mars bar, and the sugar content is completely different. And our body needs sugar. This is the last thing I say. It's like, have you ever cut sugar out of your diet? Most people have. And so how do you feel after about a week? And they're dreaming about Mars bars. They're dreaming about, like, they've got this deficiency because their body needs the sugars in your life. So there's a safe amount of sugar, like Sam said, that you can have, and we're way below that. So often that question is they're just throwing it out there, and it doesn't really have a lot of backing. And we've got scientific studies, which is the best thing. If people are very scientific, especially if they know more about you than nutrition, like personal trainers and whatnot do, I'll send them to isagenixhealth.net. I'll tag them in, or I'll send them a link to an article. So all backed up by independent research. And then, we can't say fairer than that. They can do their own research on it.
Absolutely. And I think it's the sugar in our shakes equates to that of about half of an apple. And I know that I've had a few people going, oh, fructose, it's so bad for you. But it must just be stressed that fructose is very different from fructose corn syrup, which, as you rightly say, is what you find in all these processed foods and in fizzy drinks. That is not what is in our shakes. So it's fructose that comes from apples, and it equates to about half an apple. So, as you rightly say, a lot less than the sugar that we'd have in our normal diet. And just finishing off on food, another question I have is, can we use real food snacks instead of the ISA snacks? Andy?
Yeah,
as you're snacking away, cute snacks.
I'm eating ISA snacks because they're convenient. It's like what Sam said, yeah, great. I could go and chop up some little bits there, or have avocado on toast or whatever, but it's time and convenience. So absolutely, of course you can. Handful of nuts, a little bit of fruit. There's a million different healthy snacks you can get. But what Sam said about being a foodie in the beginning and the convenience is that I know that these Harvest Whey thins are 10 grams of protein. They're plant-based, which is a big part of my diet now. There's carbohydrates and there's all the fiber in there. So it's great. It's a convenient, cost-effective snack. But if people want to snack on their healthy snacks that they've had part of their diet, go ahead. That's great. Most people are in a position where they're snacking on unhealthy things. And they're reaching for things which are convenient and they're just not good for them. So that's why Isagenix have snacks available, but they are optional. But again, trust me, when you start them, and you both will know, they taste amazing, they're cost effective, they're convenient. So I'll mix them in with regular snacks all day long.
Perfect. And you just touched on the next question, which was, do we have a vegan option? And you're eating the vegan snacks now. So the answer to that is very much yes. We have, in fact, I've got some here. Actually, no, I've pulled out the mocha one instead of the plant-based one. But our plant-based shakes, the protein comes from brown rice and green peas, and are equally delicious for our plant-based vegans amongst us. Right, next question for you, Sam. I can get the same results with food and exercise. Now, given the physique you have, I think you're very well placed to answer that question.
It's a tough question, actually, because both are true. Like, you can achieve what I have achieved with whole food only, the same way as you can achieve what I've achieved by integrating Isagenix alongside that. For me personally, I would always say that doing things a whole food way is like, it's a lot of work for your body. If you're eating a lot of whole food throughout the day, let's say with my goals to build muscle, you have to eat a lot of food, a lot of calories, it's a lot of preparation, and it's a lot of expense, and it takes its toll on you physically and mentally, because your body is constantly digesting probably 6 meals a day, maybe, often very high protein, and it's got to break down all those meals, right? So I always say to people, the less work you can put through your body when you're already working it physically in the gym, like through your diet, the better, because it's gonna help you recover faster. It's gonna be a more enjoyable experience. And I personally believe that you get slightly better results, just because I've tried both, but that's only from my personal experience. So that being said, if you were to be able to replace meals within your diet and still achieve results, but put less work on your body, does that make sense? Does that sound like it makes sense to you, to put less work on your body, still get the result, and have to spend less, do less maybe? And the answer is usually yes. So I always say, yep, you can. but do you want to take the hard route or the easy route? Or the hard route or the easier route?
Easier.
And they would obviously say the easier route. So yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think certainly from my level of gymming, which is nowhere near your level of gymming, but I'm still a bit of an exercise nut. You know, what I found is that I had exercised a lot throughout my entire adult life, and my body shape hadn't really changed. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's magic stuff. I mean, it was actually after I did the 30 days and then went on to the 1 shake a day with the maintenance that I then started to really reshape, and noticeably. So I think you're right. It just gives a lot of people the discipline they need, that they don't stick to when they're doing just the real food option. Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, Debbie? Yeah, let me just add, I think that we have in Isagenix systems, and those systems are well thought out to balance your macros and your protein and everything that Sam said. So if you had to do that yourself, you've got to be pretty much an expert, and you've got to take a lot of energy into creating your diet that's going to give you the body shape, which is why you were eating quite well and exercising, and your body shape wasn't changing. Perhaps your protein wasn't high enough, or your nutrients weren't balanced, or you didn't have enough magnesium from the likes of Isomove. So like these systems are designed by scientists, so 50 full-time scientists like Isagenix who know how to create the perfect setup. So yeah, it's possible, and great if people go that route. I always wish them the best. They often come back at some point and say, can I just try this Isagenix thing, please?
Yeah, spot on. Okay, I'm going to move onto our intermittent fasting and our cleanse days, which often when you tell people that there's a cleanse day in the system and they don't eat, they go, oh my God. Intermittent fasting undoubtedly is becoming quite a buzzword at the moment, and it's really good to know that we've had this as part of our system since inception, 17 years ago. But what are the benefits of fasting? Sam, do you want to kick off on that one?
Yeah, so it's like a massive question now because there's so much new science emerging, but intermittent fasting it makes sense on like an evolutionary level, because when humans didn't have the resources that we do today, your diet was very much a hunter-gatherer type experience for human beings. You know, you wouldn't be able to eat meat every day and have that convenience because you'd have to hunt for it. Same with like vegetables, you wouldn't be able to overeat probably on them because you'd have to grow, harvest, or forage for them. And so if you look at the way the body's changed, it hasn't really changed that much. The world around us has changed really fast, but the human body's the same. And if you look at any other kind of culture around the world that has, you know, a good standard of health or a decent life expectancy, a lot of them have fasting as a part of their culture or a part of their religion. And so there's good reason for that. The body uses about 80% of energy to break down whole food. So it uses a lot of your energy reserves to do that. And so if you're constantly eating, you're constantly using up a lot of energy. And fasting basically is something that gives your body a break. You know, it actually lets your body switch off for 24 to 48 hours and really go to work on your internal health, you know, cleansing out deposits of waste in your intestines, cleansing out impurities from your blood and your cells. You know, it's an amazing thing to do for your body because you need to do it and you need to give it a break. And I think people in the Western world have a resistance to that more than anywhere because we are serial snackers. Like we eat all day, every day, and we eat late at night, and we skip breakfast, and that's just like everywhere. So if you take the time to explain what fasting does, and somebody actually tries it, they'll never look back, you know. But it is scary to think of not eating food for a day, because you get hangry and all of these other symptoms which are completely normal, but you'll never know how good you can feel until you felt that good. And I felt the best I've ever felt after a cleanse day, after an intermittent fast with Isagenix. So that's why I keep doing it now.
Yeah, agree with you. How about you, Andy? Anything to add to that?
Yeah, just that it's for everybody. It's not just for weight loss. You can use it as part of a training program to obviously cut body fat. You know Sam's physique there, and so he's saying that he fasts. I'm a slightly different physique, and I do fasting because I really believe in the health benefits, like that detoxification process, giving your body a rest from eating food. It gives you a mental clarity as well. So it's amazing, like Sam said, what the body does when it's got a break from food. And, you know, fasting is something that's a very, it's a buzzword at the moment. And just even a physical water fast is very potentially healthy for you. Obviously, you should always consult your doctor before doing something like that. But just in a nutshell, Isagenix have made it simple, right? And they've made a nutritionally supported fast. So this is a fast which can stop you getting hungry, as Sam said, because we've got little snacks and systems like the Nourish for Life to give us the balance of nutrients and a little bit of blood sugar still on throughout the day. So it's a nutritionally supported fast, calorie deficient fast, and it works in today's busy lifestyles for people. You can be a lawyer and you can go to the gym in the morning, you could drop your kids off, go to work all day, pick them up, make their dinner, and complete an Isagenix fast day. It's not about just, oh my goodness, I just need to take the day off because I can't possibly function because I haven't eaten. No, it's meant for everybody, and the more research you do on this, the more fascinating it is. And Isagenix have been at the forefront of this for the last 17 years. So yeah, big part of what we teach is fasting.
I agree. And then it's just worth saying that depending on what your goals are, people do tailor their fasts depending on whether it's building lean muscle or losing weight. So I had a bit of a chat with our team today saying, you know, can I do a 12-hour, can I do a 36-hour, 24-hour? So yeah, again, that can be discussed with your upline to know what's right for you. So coming to the end now, last two questions. How long do I need to stay on the program for? And I quite like that question. Do you want to
how long do you want to be healthy for, right? Like we're all passionate about this one. Like, are you insane? Like how long do you want to feel good for? How long do you want to have that feeling that you've got and the convenience of getting the best nutrition? It's a crazy question, but I think people just worry, right? That they don't understand what Isagenix is yet. They don't understand that it's a lifestyle, not a diet. So I'm passionate about that one, and I'm going to let Sam finish answering that question because I know he is too.
You sure? Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, it is like one of the most excitable questions that you could ask somebody who's been using Isagenix for any length of time. Because a relatable example I use for people is I just say, well, let's take the gym, for example. If you were to go into a gym and work out for 30 days and get some noticeable results, and then stop going to the gym, would you expect to keep those results ongoingly forever and ever? Amen. No, right? You're going to lose them because you have to be consistent with anything in life that you want to maintain. So I just say, so the same with this. You know, if you did this for 30 days and you had an amazing weight loss result and you're feeling amazing, do you think that stopping it is going to continue that process for you? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it just makes sense, right? That's the same with anything. You eat something healthy and then stop eating healthy, you're going to feel like crap again. So this is no different. It is a lifestyle. It's something that you will fall in love with when you have done it properly and you feel how it makes you feel and you regain your body confidence. That is something you never want to let go of. So I think it only is a concern in the absence of somebody who, like Andy said, doesn't understand it yet or hasn't had that experience yet. So you just hit them with that. No.
Very good answer.
Until you've tried it, man.
And that's a nice link actually onto the last question, because I think, you know, some people worry about the cost of it on an ongoing basis. And as we all know, we very quickly need to show people the color of the money, so to speak, and let them know there's a very simple way to get their products paid for. So actually you do ultimately eat for free. So that leads me on to the last question, which is sort of, you know, what are the benefits of working with a company like Isagenix on an ongoing basis? So I just want to touch a little bit on the business opportunity, not in too much detail, but yes, how do we get our products paid for? Andy, do you want to lead with that one?
Yeah, of course. It's something I'm really passionate about because, you know, to be able to live a full and healthy life, you need to be able to financially put the good stuff into your body, because we're all busy. We've got busy lives, and to eat well and to live well now, you know, it does take a little bit of money, and it does cost to eat the good foods. So, you know, Isagenix have developed a way that everybody could eat for free, and they don't go a traditional route of advertising and endorsing celebrities and a normal traditional route of putting the products in the stores. It just doesn't work that way. They've empowered the network of people who have the best results from using the products and say, look, if you guys share your experiences, we'll be able to give you back the money that we would have wasted it in that advertising system, and that can be your products for free really quickly. Like, I've had people had a great result in the products, they loved it immediately, shared it, and they've never had to pay for their order ship, their regular monthly order of Isagenix ever again. And then that springboards into something much greater, which I'm sure Sam will expand on a little bit, and that's the community and the opportunity to work in a space where you just have full freedom, whether it's just an extra few £100 a month, or you really want to be completely financially free. And I'll let Sam expand on that because he has a bit more experience in Isagenix than I do.
But less experience in the industry. No, I really respect your knowledge, bro, and it's been a pleasure learning from you guys on this call. So I am obsessed with making people aware of the difference between linear income and residual income, because the world is completely asleep to this option that is so readily available to them. So when I'm explaining the deeper end of the financial opportunity or business opportunity, like beyond what Andy has explained, this is the next conversation, is like, are you aware of what residual income is? Most people will have maybe an idea, but not like a clear understanding of what difference it would make in their life. So I always explain it using Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, if you have read that book, which is basically states that there's 4 different types of ways that most people will earn their money in society. You can be employed, self-employed, a business owner, or an investor. Okay, if you're employed, the only way you can ever earn money for the rest of your time in employment is to trade your time for that money. Work X amount of hours at this rate to earn this much money in a week. If you're not exchanging that time, the money stops. There's no more money, okay? So it's only good when you're there. And so then the next one is self-employed. You know, if you're a self-employed person, then you've gone from basically having a job to owning a job, because now you've got to take on all the responsibilities of, you know, payroll, like paying everybody before yourself, the business responsibilities, the legalities, the risk management, you know, stock, marketing, the whole shebang. You know, you're like the everybody person. And so people can earn better money self-employed, but again, still dependent on your time, right? And then the golden one that everybody, I think, who has like business, aspires to be successful in business, wants to be a business owner. But in today's world, it's so expensive to set up a bricks and mortar business. So most people, especially my generation, you know, 18 to 35-year-olds, are really struggling, man. 1, where's the money coming from? 2, it costs too much to run. 3, I'm a slave to my business. And how many businesses fail in their first 2 years over here? It's something close to 80%, you know, so maybe more. I don't know. There's so many different stats. But so when I explain that they can own a business with Isagenix and their only overhead is what they eat, when somebody really gets that, I think the next part takes care of itself. And residual income is like the only thing I'm aware of that can set somebody free, because it pays you ongoingly, you know, not dependent on your time, dependent on the number of lives you change. And that is a direct reflection of what you earn. The more people you help, the more people you change their life, the more you earn, and it's on a residual basis. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's very well answered, and I've learned a lot from that answer. Well, I think that's a wrap, guys. Thank you both very much for your time. We set up this call before Sam and I knew that we were going to be head-to-head in the Spirit of Isagenix Award, which is going to be announced at Celebration. If we can help a few of our fellow ISA warriors out there, we're going to get this company name branded across Europe and, you know, help realize the vision.
Perfect. So, thanks, Debbie, for inviting us.
For now.
Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, bye for now. Bye.
Love you. Bye.